very much.
Welcome to the Financial Times in New York. This past week, as part of the FT's Innovate in America conference, I had a chance to have a fascinating conversation with Google's executive chairman, Eric Schmidt. While he made some inevitable plugs for Google products, he had three fascinating points to make. Firstly, his views on innovation and how that's changing. Secondly, his thoughts about why the tech sector today is not quite as arrogant as the banks. And thirdly, the fascinating question of how long it takes for riders in driverless cars to become comfortable with being driven by a robot.
The feeling of being in a car with no steering wheel, where you're being driven from point to point, is hard to describe and not altogether happy, right?
How many times have you done it?
Enough. And it does work. These particular cars don't go faster than 25 miles.
And did you actually stop looking out of the window at the road? I mean,
it takes a while, right? It's the old thing of being driven without a driver. Mm-hmm. You sort of get to that point. But they've studied this, and it takes 20 minutes for the red to come off of people's faces, right? Google, we test everything. It's a 20-minute shock value. So my guess is that the biggest innovation that all of us will see are in things that most of us probably don't understand very much about, which have to do with the union of synthetic biology, genetics, and the other things that are going on. Because we're now able to take the sort of analog world, sort of the squishy part of the world, which I wasn't very good at, and marry it to extraordinary machine intelligence. So whether it's healthcare, or the way your doctors work, or the way the systems work, or so forth, we can now all of a sudden figure out how to get you healthier or make your life better. And that's something which will literally touch every human on the planet.
My other observation, and I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on this, is I covered the financial sector for many years, and I looked at how the bankers went from a world where they thought they were masters of the universe, they had the secrets to innovation, they thought many of the brilliant financial innovations were making the world better, and they were very successful. But they also essentially became so successful that not only did they end up believing their own hype and drinking the Kool-Aid, they also became increasingly inhabiting a world that was really of their own. They were in an intellectual ghetto, they were in a social silo, cut off from other people, and they couldn't see how wider society saw them, and they couldn't see the coming backlash. And today, bankers are pretty chastened. They are aware of the need to try and look out inwards. Do you think the tech sector is in danger of running the same risks and becoming so full of hubris, if not arrogant, so confident about the future that it ends up almost being cut off from the rest of society and forgetting to see how things that seem normal to you actually look quite shocking to the outside world?
Arrogance has never been in short supply in my industry, and I've been in it sort of long enough to have seen the arrogance cycles, and I won't name people, but many of the people who we lionize today had their arrogant moments, especially when they're young. The difference between us and the bankers is that over time, the scale impact of what we do, just in terms of innovation, is life-changing. We literally have gone, in my lifetime, from essentially people having access to no information to everybody having, at least theoretically, access to all the world's information. That's a source of enormous pride for all of us. And I'll defend that. Right? I'll defend that until I'm dead.